Welcome to this meditation on releasing the energy of 2025 to make room for 2026. Tonight, you're going to look at and clear the energy of 2025 that you don't want to bring forward into 2026. After you clear the space, you're going to get to set the energy for 2026 with some positive vibrations and intentions, even in visuals. I'll walk you through all the steps. This is not goal setting. It's about setting the energy for a higher frequency into 2026. You can update the space throughout the year. If, say, you feel like things are getting gummed up, you can use the same process of releasing, which we're going to do after we get grounded, and then updating and replenishing this space as the year goes on. Let's go ahead and get grounded. Again, if you're new to this meditation or this kind of or style of meditation, guided meditation, I'll walk you through all the steps. It may move a little fast for you if you're not used to the process, that you can always go back and watch this again. All right, go ahead and relax, close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths. Sense your body where you are right now. Our energy spreads out throughout the day. That's kind of our aura expanding. So it's a really good idea to pull your energy back in around you. So you could imagine scooping your energy back in around you until it's about 2 feet on all sides. Again, you're pulling your aura closer in around you. Ideally, your aura should be, say, 2 to 3 feet around you on all sides. When you walk into your house, it'll spread out, but you really don't want to have a super expanded aura when you're out and about in the world because those things can collect up with a little more ease in your space, and we don't really want that. All right, for those of you who have a current grounding cord, go ahead and release it and create a new one in present time. For those of you who are not accustomed to making a grounding cord is a way to uh, anchor your physical body to the planet and your spiritual body to your physical body. It's a very easy process. So without overthinking it, focus in on the base of your spine and imagine creating, say, like a hollow tube, a line of energy. But I like to visualize a hollow tube that attaches at the base of the spine. It's approximately where the root chakra is. And have that hollow tube travel down through the floor beneath you, through the layers of the planet, and plug into the crystalline core. And once your grounding cord is attached in the center of the planet, it begins to work with gravity. So you may even feel a little tug on your body. The grounding cord, again, is a way for you to release energies that have collected up in your space and in your aura. And gravity is the method or the way your body will release energies. So without overthinking it again, imagine that any energy that's already kind of in your space that's ready to release, we can start with the energy of stress, flows down through that hollow tube, down through the hollow tube, through the layers of the planet, and into the crystalline core where that energy gets recycled. And if it's slow to release, because maybe you made that hollow tube a little bit narrow, you can imagine expanding that hollow tube out to about hips width or even wider. So it's as wide at your hips as it is in the middle of the grounding cord and in the center of the planet. Tune into where you're holding on to stress. Allow gravity to pull it out of your body, down the grounding cord, into the center of the planet. And this is something you can practice every day, grounding, releasing energies that are affecting you. Another energy that might be in your space is unconscious energy. That could be unconscious energy of yours or other people's. So tune into your body. And if you feel like you're holding on to some unconscious energy, you're not feeling right, maybe you feel a little gummed up, that's some of the energies that you want to tune into and release. You may also just sense it. You might also see it as a texture or color in your space. And that's another way a clairvoyant will view energy is through colors and textures. So if you see colors and textures in your space that you know don't belong, send them down the grounding cord. And if you feel like the energies aren't releasing, it's really just giving it a hello, like, inside yourself. Hello, I see you. I know you're there. And then literally visualizing that energy going down the grounding cord. And then the last energy, and this is a pretty quick grounding. So when you have more time, you can sit and ground and release longer. Look for any unfinished communication that you didn't get to say today. You could even tune into your throat or your throat chakra and think about all those words you didn't get to say and focus on releasing that out of your body so that energy will travel down through your body and again drown the grounding cord. Good. After you release, you need to replenish or you will be out of balance. So the first process to being in balance is grounding and releasing, anchoring your physical body to the physical body to the planet, the spiritual body to the physical body, releasing the energies that have collected up. And the second part is collecting your energy that's been left out in the world. How you can do that is creating the visual of a large, warm, golden sun about 6 inches above your head. And imagine into that sun, you can collect or call back your energy that's been left out in the world. If you're used to collecting your energy, your energy won't be quite so spread out. But if you're not used to doing this tech or using this technique, you might have energies, all the way back to childhood, stuck in places and spaces. But for this meditation tonight, since we are working on 2025, going into 2026, imagine in that sun, you can collect your energy that was left in 2025 in places and spaces and trips and with people and work. So you don't have to get overwhelmed with the details, but you could imagine your energy flowing back to you into that sun as a colorful vapor. You could see it as just lines of energy, or just have the thought that your energy is being magnetized back into that sun above your head. So I'm not saying you have to go into the details, but even just think, January through here it is the beginning of December. Imagine that your energy can just easily collect back into the sun. And again, this is pretty fast because it's a short meditation. So I suggest going back and doing this again. You could even ask the sun a question. You can ask your symbols or your tools questions. What percentage is my energy still stuck in 2025? I know we're not quite out of 2025, but then you could say, okay, I still have 50% of my energy in the beginning of 2025. And then you can just focus on collecting that 50% back up. So it's just a process. You can go back and do this again. So bring that sun in through the top of your head, saturating all of your cells and organs. I like to visualize it as gold flowing in through the top of my head, flowing into my toes, saturating my cells in my legs, so up my thighs. Focus on that energy in your torso so it's saturating your cells and organs. Up to your neck where it branches off, goes down your arms to your fingertips and up to the top of your head. And this is your vital life force energy. And if you don't collect your energy and bring it back to you, you will start to be really depleted. Okay, good job. Now you're going to get to take a look at the energy of 2025. In order to clear or look at energy clairvoyantly, you need a place to view that information. You can create the image. I'll walk you through that of creating a white blank screen. It's called a reading screen or a viewing screen, just like you need a computer to view information in front of you. A clairvoyant will use a screen. So imagine in front of your head about a foot you can create a white blank screen that it's about a foot wide, a foot tall. It's easier if you can create a white screen, it's easier to see information. So locate or create that screen. And in order to get the screen to stay in place, imagine you can create a grounding cord to the base of that screen that plugs into the core of the planet. And the next step is to be able to create a symbol to hold the energy that you want to look at. So I'll do a very simple technique, walk you through creating the visual of a clear bubble. So in the center of your screen, visualize a clear bubble with the intention as you're creating that symbol that it holds the energy of 2025 that you are ready to let go of. So create that clear bubble with that intention. I'm sure there's a lot of wonderful things you created in 2025, but this is really about clearing out the lower vibrational energies. So start to observe this bubble. Do you see dark textures and colors that you feel, oh yeah, that probably should come out because I don't want to bring that into 2025? So to the base of the bubble, create a grounding cord, just like on your body, plugs into the base of that bubble, goes down through the layers of the planet and plugs into the crystalline core. And again, in order to release that energy, you kind of say hello to it, like high dark texture color. Maybe you know what it is, but you just visualize it flowing down the grounding cord into the center of the planet. So just keep observing what's releasing. And I'm going to suggest some energies to look for. They may resonate with you, they may not. I'll give you a little bit of time at the end of the release to look for energies that you know specifically are in your space or that you want to release. All right. Looking at your bubble, I want you to ask to be shown any unfinished business from 2025. That should show up as a texture or color. That unfinished business could be projects, goals that were not completed, whatever that looks like as far as unfinished business. Go ahead and send it down the grounding cord. Again, this will move a little bit fast. So if you feel like you're not completing the entire release on a topic, then you can go back and work this again. Okay. Look for or ask to be shown if there's any energy of problems. Those could be perceived problems that you think are in your space, or they could be other people's problems. People like to put problems in our spaces or other people's spaces to solve, and so they stick if we don't clear them out. So if you see the energy of problems, send it down the grounding cord. Okay, I'm going to suggest a few lower vibrational energies to look for that are really energies that can keep us stuck. So, any of these energies like anger, resentment, guilt, grief, if that is showing up, those lower vibrational frequencies, look for them in a texture or color, say hello to them, because if those don't release, it can keep you from moving forward. So, whatever's showing up, send it down the grounding cord into the center of the planet. Okay, the next energy to look for and release is the energy of fear. Um, could be fear of change, fear of 2026, fear of repeating cycles. Again, if that doesn't resonate with you, then just keep looking at your bubble and just say hello to any energies that you see. But if you do see any energy around fear, um, then say hello to it and release it. Okay, the next energy is the energy of limitations. If you have if you had any limiting thoughts or you sit in limiting thoughts or beliefs, you can ask the bubble to show you even what percentage this energy is affecting you. So you could say, bubble, show me the percentage of limiting beliefs. And you might even ask in that question, what percentage are they your limiting beliefs or limiting beliefs that were programmed into your space? So it could be somebody else's limiting beliefs about you that you are actually thinking are yours, but they're not. So I'm not trying to make that too wordy, but look for the energy of limiting beliefs. And then you can always ask probing questions. Well, what percentage are those my limiting beliefs, or what percentage is that energy programmed into my space? Whatever you're coming up with or seeing in that bubble or hearing in a percentage, make sure that you send that down the grounding cord. We want to get limits out. We're going into 2026. The energy on the planet is, believe it or not, still ascending. And I believe we'll be able to manifest really quickly in 2026. So we want to get out any limits. Okay, the next energy is judgments. Are there judgments in 2025 in this bubble or from 2025 that you judged yourself or you felt you were judged by others that will also keep you really stuck? Judgments destroy a lot of what we're trying to create. So go ahead and look for a texture or color that's representing judgments and send it down the grounding cord. And remember, you have a grounding cord on your body. So If you're activated in any of the energies that I'm suggesting you look at, you can tune into your body and make sure you're releasing that out of your physical body. Okay, the next energy is any energy of procrastination. That's something we wouldn't necessarily want to bring into the new year. So if you see that in your bubble, send it down the grounding cord. And two more. One is failure energy. Um, I don't like that word because it's heavily charged. I feel like when something doesn't work out, it's just a way to course correct, but I will call it failure. So if you feel like you failed at something or you missed the mark on something, go ahead and release that out of the bubble for 2025. And if that lights you up in your body, you're feeling activated, tune into your body and release that out of the grounding cord on your body. Okay, and the last energy is pain, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain. If there's any pain that's still in your space from 2025, say hello to it in this bubble and release it. Okay, I'm going to give you about 60 seconds here to look for anything in this bubble. So tune in, like, what is it that you specifically want to release from 2025 that I did not mention? And tune in and look in that bubble. If you're not sure of specifics, you can just ask the bubble to show you anything else that needs to be released. See what shows up and release it out of the bubble. Okay, go ahead and finish up. Okay, let's replenish this space to bring that into balance with some high vibrations, because I know we've all created some pretty amazing things this past year. It's so easy to think about the things we didn't accomplish, but we've got to validate what we did accomplish When you validate yourself and your creations, you get that space to grow so you can create more. So above the bubble on your screen, create a golden sun. And then you could either, I'll suggest some energies you can add into that to raise the energy of the bubble for 2025. You could see them as words written in gold, see them as postulates floating into that sun, or just have the thought. So into that sun above the bubble, add the energy of validation. Validate what you created. Self-validation is the highest form of validation. Maybe some gratitude, self-love, certainty. Maybe you want to add some appreciation. Add any other vibrations that are right for you to finish off 2025 with. So see those postulates go into that sun. Bring that sun in through the top of the bubble, and you want to look at that bubble fill completely in with those high vibrations. So you can even see that gold energy filling to the edges of the bubble. So we're kind of bringing that 2025 energy into balance. And then in order to clear a symbol off our screen, because you don't want symbols just hanging out on your screen. We're done working on it. When we clear it, doesn't mean we're destroying the energy that we just worked on. It's just you're transmuting it into another vibration. So to the right of the bubble on your screen, I want you to create a gold bubble, a large gold bubble, and slide your 2025 bubble into that bubble on the right. Visualize a pin in your hand and pop that bubble, and then you can see that energy disperse into a billion little pieces of gold dust. Okay, good job. Now let's set the energy for 2026. Look at your screen, and in the center of your screen, create a clear bubble with the intention that this one is for 2026. Give that bubble a grounding cord. Again, if you don't ground symbols when you're reading them, they can tend to move around. All right, so I'm just going to suggest a few things to maybe set this energy at, and then I'll give you a little bit of time to set the energy for your specifics. Again, if something doesn't sound right, you don't have to add it. I just want to give you a little bit of a start. Before we add energies into 2026, because energies are held in textures and colors, think about what color or color you would like to set the energy for 2026 at. A high, bright color or colors, if you're not sure what that is, you could set it at gold. But this is something that you can look at as the year goes on. So say you're partway into 2026 and some stuff comes up and you're like, my 2026 bubble needs to be grounded. You could ground it at that color, see what's affecting it, and send it down the grounding cord like we just did in the beginning. And then you can infuse more positive energies into that space. You can change the color, you can change the thoughts about this anytime, but let's literally anchor these energies, these higher vibrations into a color. So pick your color. And again, if you don't know a color to use, you can set it at gold. And again, that color is going to hold these vibrations that you're going to send into that bubble. So I'm going to suggest a few. For 2026, again, if it doesn't resonate, don't add it. Creativity, you can see that float into the bubble. Innovation, certainty, seniority. Maybe you want some increased intuition. We are going into 2026 and people's intuition is going to keep expanding. So increased intuition, expansiveness. Maybe for some of you, you need some improved health, more money, a new job, anything, limitlessness, maybe even some gratitude. So I'm going to give you about 2 minutes, but what I want you to do is add any other vibrations that you would like to add. But I also want you to look at yourself in this bubble with the things that you're looking at creating. So feel yourself from your heart with so much gratitude in this space. And I want you to see yourself in there and kind of like a little movie playing out of what it is you want to create. All right, I'll give you 2 minutes right now to go ahead and create that visual. Okay, you got a few more seconds here before we wrap up. Okay, really good job. You can go back and do this again. Sometimes it feels really good to sit in that space and just be able to see what we're creating. And again, really visualize what you want, not what you don't want, because we can manifest what we don't want just as easily as what we want. All right, let's go ahead and raise the vibration of that space even higher. So above that bubble on your screen, create a golden sun. Just bring that sun in through the bubble and fill it up with that gold energy. You're not changing the color of the bubble that you set your 2026 a year ahead at, but you're just adding a higher vibration into that space. So that sun goes into the bubble, fill it into the edges, and visualize a pair of gold scissors in your hand to cut the grounding cord and let that bubble float out into the universe to manifest. And again, you can update this anytime you like. All right, really good job, everybody. Go ahead and create a visual of a golden sun above your own head. We're going to raise our own physical vibration. So when you create a sun above your head and you put postulates like we've been doing, like, these high vibrations, when you do that and you fill yourself in with these high vibrations, it goes into your body, into your chakras, vibrates out into your aura, and that's what you receive back. So if you wake up grumpy, that's the vibration you're getting, giving out, and that's kind of what you get back. So every single day, and for me, even throughout the day, I'll use golden suns to fill up with high vibrations, and that is helps keep me on track, helps me to stay positive, and helps me to attract more of what I want. So I really suggest, practicing this. You'll be surprised, or maybe you won't, at how fast it works at attracting what you want. So into that sun above your head, I'll suggest some energies. If they feel right, great. If not, you could omit them. So into that sun, you could add the energy of confidence, gratitude, creativity, limitlessness, possibilities. Again, it could be increased intuition, um, a lot of certainty on what you're creating and who you are. Anything else you want to add, go ahead and send it into that sun. Okay, bring that sun in through the top of your head. And with this sun, really saturate your cells and organs with this high vibration. You can even run some of that energy down through your grounding cord into the center of the planet. So you're grounded with those high vibrations from the center of the planet up through your body to the top of your head. Okay, well done. All right, when you're ready, take a couple of deep breaths and come out of trance. Thanks for tuning in. I wish you all the best for 2026. See you next year.